Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is radio station WGOD, on the air, live for the first time. We're coming to you from our fancy studio overlooking the coldest lake in North Carolina. We're in Montreat, North Carolina. This is Steve Clark talking at you, and I'm joined here tonight by my good buddy and fellow announcer, John Schoenfeld. Glad to have you here, John, on this broadcast. We're going to broadcast a show that will cover 100 years of history in Montreat, one whole century. And I'm told, John, that in our studio audience tonight, there's a Montreater and a centenarian who is 104 years old, Dr. Joe Geddes. Thank you, Dr. Joe, but we don't want you to steal the show tonight. As you know, John, that cold lake out there was created by damming Flat Creek. And you and I can see a leaky wooden dam tonight because here at the start of the show, it's 1911. Now, true, commercial radio has not been invented yet, but our motto at WGOD is never let the facts stand in the way of a good story. And John, as you also know, the show's focus is on all the women of Montreat who have done so much through the years to make this such a special place.
Well, Steve, you couldn't have done a better job of focusing on the right people. We know who the movers and shakers are in Montreat. Always have been and will be for the next century, too. The women of Montreat.
Amen, John. And this show will be a spotlight on those women. And we're looking right through our broadcast window, and we're happy to be able to see all over the people of Montreat and over that cold lake. It really is a beautiful place, and it's a good thing we have these women because we know what lazy bums some of the men are.
You can say that again, Steve. Is it time for a word from our sponsor?
Yes, John, we can't make this thing a go without some paid advertisement. So let's hear from our friends at Oldsmobile. Well, John, have you seen those new Oldsmobiles? I hear that they are good for picking up ladies.
I need to get myself one then, Steve. I do know that they splash a lot of mud here in Montreat because none of the roads are paved and they're always getting stuck.
Amen, John, but I believe that we're going to finish up the broadcast for now by looking at some of the goings-on in Montreat. I understand a lot of the women are complaining about those muddy roads and the leaky dam and all the trees that have been cut down by the people trying to build a sheep farm in Montreat.
And don't forget about all those chestnut trees that are dying. And they're cutting all of our oak trees down to ship up north for the Yankees to build big houses in the city.
Well, I can live with that, John, if those Yankees don't move down south. Trying to get the right to vote now? It's amazing what those women will do. Before you know it, they want to get jobs like we men do.
Steve, you know there's not a woman that can do a man's job. We both know that.
Well, but those women in Montreat, they can do a great deal of work.
Maybe so, but they still go by their husband's last names. You hardly ever hear anyone call them Jennifer or Mabel. It's always Mrs. Anderson this, Mrs. Jones that.
Yes, but when they're together, John, they call each other by their first names.
Well, there's some names they'd like to call the men, too, but we can't say that on the radio now, can we?
Especially not here on WGOD. But we're going to switch now, John, to the store and the post office, where I hear there's something going on called the Montreat Ragtime Prance, with a lot of fancy dressings. But rumor has it that those ladies, even though they're prim and proper, are rumbling about some of the conditions in Montreat.
Look all around you, see what a mess we made. We got muddy roads, only fit for toads, and the wooden dam is leaking again. This beautiful haven is fit for the craven. We need a maven to help us start again. Women must rally, 'cause men are all dally. We need to remake our dream. Look all around you, look all around you, see what a mess we've made. We've got muddy roads, only fit for toads, and the wooden dam is leaking again. Start again. Women must rally, 'cause men are all dally. We need to remake our dream. Look all around you, look all around you, see what a mess we made. We got muddy roads, only fit for toads, and the wooden dam is leaking again.
Thank you, Prancers. And now a word from our next sponsor, Panna Toothpaste.
Russia, here's the new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth. Russia, here's the new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth.
Look, it's Decatur, and he's heading our way.
I'm going to make holes in everybody's teeth.
Here's the new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth. Russia. Here's the new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth.
Now, Beaver, I'm going to make cavities in your teeth.
Here's a new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth. Russia. Here's a new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth.
Panna knocks out Decatur. Best of all leading brands, including fluoride.
Russia, here's the new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth. Russia. Here's a new Panna with a brand new flavor. It's dandy for your teeth.
Well, John, that was one clever advertisement there. I'm glad we got their business. I think since it's summertime, a few of the kids are beginning to swim in the lake. And I hope that dam doesn't break while they're swimming.
Well, what I hope is that those ladies don't get upset with the bathing suits those kids are wearing.
Amen, John. And from WGOD, we're going to sign off briefly for right now.
I know it, Mabel. You know, Mabel, you're absolutely right. The conditions here in Montreat are just terrible. They're just deplorable. The muddy roads, leaky dams, everything's going on. I know it. Listen, the suffragettes are going to have a meeting. Yeah, they are, Jennifer. They're going to have a meeting, I think, hold on just a minute, I got another call. Did you hear that, Bertha? Did you hear that? The suffragettes are going to be meeting. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. They're going to be meeting. They're going to meet on the other side of the lake if they can get there. You know, the muddy roads. Yeah, Sally, yeah. I'm talking to Bertha and Jennifer right now, can't you tell? Yes, I understand. Hold on just a minute, hold on. Jennifer, is that you? Yeah. I know you can hear what we're talking about. That's why it's called a party line. Everybody knows that. Oh, you want to let me know to tell everybody else that the suffragettes are meeting. They already know that. We've just talked about it. Okay, the suffragettes are meeting on the shore of the lake under WGOD studio, I believe. Mabel, is that right? Did you hear me? Okay. Wait a minute. I got another call coming in. Hello, Sally. Yeah, I understand the dam is leaking. Everybody knows that. Okay. Well, it's about time that somebody does something about it. Okay, listen, I got to get off the line. Yeah. Oh. The senator is expected to call in. We've got to clear the lines, okay? Got to clear the lines. All right, hold on a minute. Lord, did you hear that, Mabel? There's some boys swimming in the lake, short bathing suits, no tops. Yeah, I know that, I understand. I know Dr. Anderson went up there and made the lifeguard wrap towels around some of them boys, and they put long skirts on some of the girls because they could see some parts of their legs. Yes, I know, Jennifer, everybody's upset. Yes, I know. What are they going to protest? Around the lake?
My name is Susan Grant, and I come with a simple solution. Name the lake for me, and it will soon be a place for appropriate bathing. I have a little party of money, 25 G's to be exact. I'll give it for a new dam made of concrete. Just keep those unclad persons in check.
WGOD back on the air. And John, we are seeing some wild happenings in Montreat.
We sure are, Steve. I understand that Mrs. Susan Graham gave $25,000 to rebuild the dam on the condition that everybody wears the proper bathing suits.
You mean even the young children and kids are going to have to cover up?
Yep, $25,000 buys a lot of dam, so I suspect they'll do pretty much whatever she says.
Well, yeah, money talks in any era. I understand they have changed the name of the lake to Lake Susan in her honor.
That's what I heard.
Well, we'd better hear from our next sponsor. With all this going on in Montreat and getting the lake fixed and the roads paved and everything, we're going to need some powerful cleaning agents to keep things clean, like Ajax.
Ajax cleans your kitchen sink up to twice as easy, twice as fast. Use Ajax, boom, boom, the foaming cleanser. Boom, 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 beats the dirt right down the drain. Boom, 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 boom. You start paying the elbow tax when you start cleaning with Ajax.
Ajax, the new scouring cleanser, foams as it cleans.
Polishes too, and it leaves no gritty cleanser stains.
Use Ajax, the foaming cleanser, floats the dirt right down the drain. So use Ajax.
Remember, Colgate Ajax foams as it cleans.
Ajax cuts grease faster than any other leading cleanser.
And it polishes too. Whee! Boom!
So use Ajax.
Thank you, Ajax, for keeping the world clean. And as the Bible says, cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes, we've got to keep things clean around here, Steve, especially on this station. It is Christian, after all.
That's right, John. And I've lost my place.
I understand a telegraph is coming in.
Oh, yeah, John. There's a telegraph over here. I hear it ticking.
Let me get
What
it.
does it say?
Hold on. Zowie, Steve, there's a flood warning over Montreat. It says to be careful, there's heavy rains coming, and there might be a big flood right here on Lake Susan.
Well, it's always raining in Montreat, John. You think we should get out of here?
Yes, Steve. Zowie, listen to the sound of the wood breaking up. I think we better sign off before the studio gets washed away.
WGOD signing off.
Yes, that's right, Mildred. Yes, Susan Graham has given $25,000, and they're going to build a stone dam. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I know, Mildred. They're going to name it Lake Susan in honor of that Susan Graham that gave the money. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yes, Jennifer, I can hear you talking. Remember, this is a party line. Oh, you got to make a call? Who do you need to talk to? Everybody's on the line. Okay, hold on a minute. Hello. Mabel, are you there? Jennifer wants to talk to you, and she wants to talk to you in private. That ain't going to happen. I heard that, Mabel. So the women tonight will be meeting, and they're going to talk about the vote and the temperance union. Why is that a secret? Well, I understand that even the Anderson sisters are going to be singing. Yeah, that's right. Need to be there.
Montreat an awful lot. Get the vote, or better yet, be a Montreat suffragette. We don't stand around and gloat, waiting for something new. We just take things in our hands, making our dreams come true. Be you woman or be you not, we like Montreat an awful lot. Get the word, or better yet, be a Montreat suffragette. That Montreat moonshine is in the hills. We see the smoke rise, we feel the chill. The prohibition, it is the law. We know some men are drinking, stinking, making what's against the law. But we all wonder what's going down. The revenuers keep coming round. That Mountain Dew just can't be ours. At least it better not. Let's march with protest signs with all we've got. 'Cause we all know that Montreat moonshine is in the hills. We see the smoke rise, we feel the chill. 'Cause prohibition, it is the law. We know some men are drinking, stinking, making what's against the law. But we all wonder what's going down. The revenuers keep coming round. That Mountain Dew just can't be ours. At least it better not. Let's march with protest signs with all we got.
WGOD back on the air, and John, we have a new dam. We survived the flood. We can swim in Lake Susan, and I'm going to celebrate with a swig of that Montreat moonshine.
Yeah, Steve, it looks like the ladies are out there in their nice bathing suits and you can't see a speck of skin. Darn it. What's next for the women of Montreat?
Well, I understand that there's this business of the Women's Temperance Union cranking up in Montreat.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. With Prohibition looming, it really gives all those Montreat moonshiners a chance to be productive.
Yes, but I hear the Temperance Union women have their eye on that situation. In fact, they're watching everything. And sometimes the Montreat men have to fight to preserve their manhood.
The men are getting kind of upset. Well, they feel like they've been not given the credit they're supposed to have. Well, yes, they went off to war, sure. And they went to World War I, they went to II, they've gone everywhere. They've gone to war everywhere. And they're rather stout-hearted men, and their feelings are hurt, though. We need to do something for them.
John, I find it really amusing that the Montreat women are preaching temperance while the Montreat men are up in the hills making corn whiskey.
Well, you gotta make a living somehow. Besides, I hear most of those women are taking a little nip off the Geritol bottle every now and then, if you know what I mean.
Amen, John. Well, that brings us to our next sponsor, and the temperance women are not going to like it, but our next sponsor is Blatt's Beer.
I'm from Milwaukee and I ought to know. It's Blatt's, 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 wherever you go. Blatt's is the name we will always hear. Blatt's is Milwaukee's finest beer. I'm from Milwaukee and I ought to know. It's Blatt's, 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 wherever you go. Blatt's is the name you will always hear. Blatt's is Milwaukee's finest beer.
Thank you, Blatt's Beer, for making a beer that the stout-hearted men of Montreat can enjoy.
Yes, Steve, you have to admit, the women really pitched in there and did some good factory work while our men were out in the battlefield.
And those women were doing a lot of other things besides factory work, John. They kept Montreat together while the wars were going on, and it looks like from the last part of that previous song, they are starting to take a few jobs and doing some things outside the home besides knitting. And that wraps it up for right now. WGOD signing off briefly.
Yes, I understand. She's from Korea. Yes, she is. She's a missionary. She's a missionary in Korea. That's right, Mabel. Yeah, you're right. She's very pretty, and she's full of life. What? You heard what? You heard that she had been seen by the lake with that missionary from China? No, really. The one that's always carrying his Bible around and then getting down on his knees and praying? Right on the shores of Lake Susan? Yeah, that's right. I know that. You reckon there's something going on? Not in Montreat. You think so? I don't know. What I saw them talking, and she seemed to be interested in what he was saying, and she was even singing a song to him.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Getting to know you, getting to feel free and easy. When I am with you, getting to know what to say. Haven't you noticed suddenly I'm right easy? Because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Sometimes in summer, our hearts can break, and love's a bummer. Try to remember the start of your romance and follow, 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 follow. Oh, how my heart aches for what I thought you were. Just a lifelong dream coming true. But you're lost in your Bible and plans to save the world. And you don't seem to have time for a girl. We walk in this gorgeous and romantic space, but you look at me with a smirk on your face. Just wake up and see all the joys of this place. And Montreat can be the start of an adventure for two missionary hearts.
You saw what? Mabel, are you sure you saw that? Hold on a minute. Jennifer, you saw it too. Sally, this is a vote now. Did you really see them go behind the trees and kiss in Montreat? And then they started dancing in Montreat?
Shall we dance on a bright cloud of music? Shall we fly? Shall we dance? Shall we then say goodnight and mean goodbye? Or perchance, when the last little star has left the sky, shall we still be together with our arms around each other? And shall you be my new romance, on the clear understanding that this kind of thing can happen? Shall we dance? Shall we dance? Shall we dance?
I mean, the senator calling in and everybody else, and they're calling about the dam, they're calling about the weddings, they're calling about people getting kissing and the bathing suits and muddy roads and my... Help me, please. I've got to get into town and get my hairs twisted. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, all right. Yeah, they did. I've heard that from several people. They danced a long time. Yeah, they did. Then they went down to Huckleberry. They got ice cream. It seems real serious.
I have some really exciting news, John. There was a beautiful missionary couple got married in a beautiful wedding ceremony at the Montreat gate.
You're right, Steve. It was a beautiful wedding. Did you notice how the groom had to hand the preacher his Bible while he was slipping the ring on her finger? Makes me wonder what he's going to do with that Bible on the honeymoon.
Yes, I heard that, John, but you know, we need some good biblical men. Now, will they go back to China or will they go to Korea?
No, they say it's not safe enough in China for missionaries right now. They will be going back to Korea.
Well, we wish the best for them wherever they go. Well, now it's time for another paid sponsor announcement, and this time it is Brill Cream for fellows with hair.
Brill Cream, a little dabble do ya? Brill Cream, you look so debonair. Brill Cream, the gals will all pursue ya. They love to get their fingers in your hair. Brill Cream, a little dabble do ya? Brill Cream, you look so debonair. Brill Cream, the gals will all
Brill cream. Let me get fingers in your hair.
Say, John, do you think that Brill cream could do something for me?
I don't think so, Steve. You know, speaking of youth, Steve, did you know that one of the best and most valuable programs in Montreat is the children's program? Adults come to conferences and the children enjoy wholesome activities while the adults study and worship. But I never did understand why they call them clubs. I guess it was to distinguish them from the camps in the area, like Camp Montreat.
And one of the most important club activities is singing, John. We'll switch over to the left bank right now, where I hear the Von Treat children will bring us a special message in song.
Mommy told me something a little kid should know. It's all about the devil, and I've learned to hate him so. He always causes trouble when you let him in the room. He will never ever leave you if your heart is filled with blue. The sun's shining, crazy with the wind. Smilers never lose, and flowers never win. So let the sun shine in, crazy with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. When you are unhappy, the devil wears a grin. That he starts a-running when the light comes pouring in. I know he'll be unhappy, 'cause I never wear a frown. Baby, if we keep on smiling, he'll get tired of hanging round. Sun shining, facing with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, facing with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. If I forget to say my prayers, the devil jumps with glee. But he feels so awful, awful when he sees me on my knees. So if you're full of trouble and you never seem to win, just open up your heart and let the sun shine in. The sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. The sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in. The sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose, and frowners never win. So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Open up your heart and let the sun shine in.
That was quite a special treat, John, and I hope when those boys grow up, they will use the razor blades made by our next sponsor, Gillette.
To look sharp every time you shave. Feel sharp and be on the ball. Just be sharp. Use Gillette blue blades for the quickest, slickest shave of all. To look sharp every time you shave. feel sharp. And beyond the ball, just be sharp. Use Gillette blue blades for the quickest, slickest shave.
Yes, Gillette will keep the stout-hearted faces of Montreat shaven clean.
Yes, Mabel. It is the week before the women's conference. Yeah. So we'll have to be real careful.
Yes, Jennifer, you're right. The women drive those big Buicks around here. Just get your kids off of the street. Now, honey, you better go on down and get your permanent wave. I'll take care of things here.
Thank you so much. You know there are hitchhikers around, too. Yeah. Hitchhikers? Yes, hitchhikers. Yes, hitchhiking has always been popular in Montreat. I'll just be careful, though, during the women's conference, because, you know, the big people might get run over.
John, it's a good thing there was only minor damage to the lakefront wall, to the boys' club, to the post office, to the gate with all those big Buick collisions. Those things are a danger to the road.
Yes, they are, Steve. And speaking of automobiles, let's hear from our next sponsor. Not everybody can afford a big Buick or a big Cadillac. That's why many Montreaters drive Chevrolet. I remember your granddad called his Chevrolet a little Cadillac.
Well, John, the century is just flying by. We've come a long way, and the women of Montreat have come a long way.
Yes, Steve, that's true. What do you say we hear now from the women's chorus and the Anderson sisters again?
John, we have finally reached the 21st century. We've seen a lot of changes in Montreat through the years, but the primary mission of Montreat remains the same.
So true, Steve, so true. I hope today's youngsters will look back on the women of the past and what they meant for Montreat, and may they always remember the core values.
I hope they always look back and fondly remember WGOD, too.
I do too, Steve. It's been great working with you. We are switching down to Anderson Auditorium, where the Anderson sisters are going to lead off the next song, and there'll be special introductions of several women among many who have led Montreat for the past century.
Thanks for being here with me, John. And I understand that the special introductions of the women are planning a sort of old-time revival, a prayerful renewal for Montreat.
Yeah, you're right, Gertrude. It's the year 2011, and it's a great time for Montreat. The conferences are running, The women are right in the middle of things, as usual. I know. They are great women. I wish there was some way that we could honor them. Why don't we have a big revival? I agree. Do you see, Cynthia? Do you think so? What about it, Gertrude?
We proudly salute the women of Montreat through all generations who have participated in making Montreat this special place set apart. We are pleased tonight to welcome a few of the many women who have been coming to Montreat for years and who are still working to make this community great. Thank you for being here to represent the numerous women who have meant so much to Montreat over the years. Please join in the chorus as we send our message of love and support to the future generations of women and men who will sustain and lead Montreat. To the young people who will be those leaders, let us sing.